When we heard these comments, we were delighted, for we had become gloomy because of what we described earlier. But when the Lord saw that we were happy, he said, "Woe to you who are without a helper! Woe to you who need grace! Blessed are those who have grown confident and have found grace for themselves. Compare yourselves with strangers. How are they viewed in your city? Why are you anxious to banish yourselves, and live far from your city? Why vacate your dwelling, and prepare it for those who want to live in it? You exiles and runaways! Woe to you, for you will be captured. What do you think? That the Father is a lover of humanity? That he is influenced by prayers? That he is gracious to one person because of another? Or that he tolerates anyone who is seeking? For the Father knows about desire, and what the flesh needs, the flesh does not long for the soul. For the body never sins apart from the soul, and the soul is never saved apart from the Spirit. But if the soul is saved from evil, and the Spirit too is saved, then the body becomes sinless. For the Spirit animates the soul, but the body kills the soul. In other words, the soul kills itself. I tell you the truth, the Father certainly will not forgive the sin of the soul or the guilt of the flesh. For no one who has worn the flesh will be saved. Do you think that many have found the kingdom of heaven? Blessed is one who envisions self as the fourth one in heaven. When we heard these remarks, we were sad. But when the Lord saw that we were sad, he said, "For this reason I tell you this, that you may know yourselves. For the kingdom of heaven is like a head of grain growing in a field. When it was ripe, it scattered its seeds, and filled the field with heads of grain for another year. So also with you, hasten to harvest for yourselves a living head of grain, that you may be filled with the kingdom. As long as I am with you, listen to me and trust me. But when I am far away from you, remember me. Remember that I was with you and you did not know me. Blessed are those who have known me. Woe to those who have heard but have not believed. Blessed are those who have not seen but yet have believed. Once again I urge you, I am appearing to you and building a house that is very useful to you. You can find shelter in it, and it will remain standing beside your neighbor's house when their house threatens to collapse. I tell you the truth. Woe to those for whom I was sent down. Blessed are those who are to ascend to the Father. Again I admonish you, you who exist, be like those who do not exist, that you may dwell with those who do not exist. Do not let the kingdom of heaven become a desert within you. Do not be proud because of the light that brings enlightenment. Rather, act toward yourselves as I also acted toward you. I put myself under a curse for you, that you might be saved. Peter responded to these comments and said, Lord, sometimes you urge us on toward the kingdom of heaven, but at other times you turn us away. Sometimes you encourage us, draw us toward faith, and promise us life, but at other times you throw us out of the kingdom of heaven. The Lord answered and said to us, I have presented you with faith many times. And, James, I revealed myself to you, but you did not know me. Now again I see that often you are happy. Yet although you are delighted about the promise of life, you are sad and gloomy when you are taught about the kingdom. Nevertheless, you have received life through faith and knowledge. So ignore words of rejection when you hear them. But when you hear about the promise, rejoice all the more. I tell you the truth, whoever receives life and believes in the kingdom will never leave the kingdom, not even if the Father wishes to cast such a person out. This is all that I am going to tell you. Now I shall ascend to the place from which I came. When I was eager to go, you drove me out, and instead of escorting me, you pursued me. Be attentive to the glory that is waiting for me. When you have opened your hearts, listen to the hymns that await me in heaven. For today I must take my place to the right of my Father. I have spoken my last word to you. I shall be gone, a spiritual chariot has lifted me up, and now I shall strip so that I may put on clothes. Be attentive. Blessed are those who preached the gospel about the child before the child came down, for when I did come, I could ascend again. Blessed 3 times over are those who were proclaimed by the child before they came into being, for you can share salvation with them. When the Lord said this, he left. I and Peter, got on our knees and gave thanks, and sent our hearts up to heaven. We heard with our ears and saw with our eyes the noise of wars, a trumpet blast, and a great disturbance. When we passed that place, we sent our minds farther. We saw with our eyes and heard with our ears hymns, angelic praises, and angelic rejoicing. Heavenly majesties were singing hymns, and we rejoiced, too. Again after this we wished to send our spirits up to the divine majesty. After we ascended, however, we were not allowed to see or hear anything. For the other disciples called to us and asked us, "What did you hear from the teacher? What did he tell you? Where did he go?" We answered them, "He ascended. He gave us his right hand, and promised all of us life. He showed us children coming after us, and commanded us to love them, since we are to be saved for their sakes." When the disciples heard this, they believed the revelation, but they were angry about those who would be born. I did not want to offend them, so I sent each one of them to a different location. I myself went up to Jerusalem and prayed that I might share salvation with the loved ones who are to appear. I pray that this may begin with you. In this way I can be saved, since the people of whom I speak will be enlightened through me by my faith, and through another faith even better than mine. For I want mine to be the inferior faith. Try, then, to be like these people, and pray that you may share salvation with them. For the Savior gave us the revelation for the sake of the people I have mentioned. On their behalf we, in turn, proclaim a share in salvation with them, those for whom the message was proclaimed, those whom the Lord has made his children. Read the full book now. Link is in description.